and Jeff Davis parishes. We'll give you the latest on these storms and some drier times later this week.
From Fox 15, News 15 Today starts now.
Good morning and welcome back. You are watching News 15 Today. I'm Alex Worstel.
And I'm Carter Semino. Thanks for tuning in this morning.
Let's start off by getting a check of the forecast this morning with Storm Track 15 meteorologist Adam Olivier.
Adam, we're tracking some rain on radar this morning.
Yeah, we're seeing quite a bit of it and some pretty big storms rolling their way on through parts of the area. Let's get right to it because these are just below severe limits here in parts of Acadia and Evangeline Parish. In fact, you can see right here a lot of lightning coming into Evangeline Parish that's going to be spreading its way eastward, and this is actually going to head more towards Eunice. So be prepared. Some very heavy rain, some gusty winds, and again, lots of lightning with this storm as it works its way down to the south and east. Here's a look at where generally this is going to head, and we're talking about Reddick, Raymond, and Rourke here in the next 10 to 15 minutes, right over China as well. Elton in the worst of this, so we'll keep you up to date on that storm. More of these forming up back to the west here into Cameron and Calcasieu Parish that really haven't been moving much. And then we've noticed a few pop-up showers just to the south of New Iberia, one that's to the north of Highway 90, but more of these down closer to the coast and near Franklin. We'll keep you up to date on radar and also about these rain chances, how long they kind of stick around to the forecast coming up.
Okay, good deal, Adam. We'll continue to check in with you throughout the show. Well, British pagans and Druids were undeterred by the unseasonably cool and cloudy weather on Monday as they celebrated the summer solstice at Stonehenge. Revelers scaled the ancient stone circle's perimeter fence in the early hours to witness the daybreak, while the sunrise was obscured by cloud cover. Those in attendance, nevertheless, carried out their traditional rituals to give thanks to the sun.
A Germany company called Volocopter showed off its new flying taxi in the skies near Paris on Monday. It's the first flight of its electrical air taxi performed at a show over the Le Bourget airport. Their goal, be fully in service before the Olympic Games come to France in 2024. The flying taxi, which looks like a tiny helicopter, takes off and lands vertically. Monday's test flight did not have any passengers and took 3 minutes.
Well, China announced that more than 1 billion doses of the COVID-19 vaccine had been administered in the country. The National Health Commission did not say how many people had been vaccinated, as elsewhere, most of the vaccines in China are given in 2 doses. The pace of vaccinations has accelerated in the country of 1.4 billion people after a slow start. China has approved 7 domestically developed vaccines and recently okayed 2 of them for children as young as 3 years old.
More territories in Afghanistan are now being overrun by Taliban forces as the terrorist group is launching attacks in an effort to regain a foothold in the Middle East.
Fox News correspondent Jackie Ibanez has more on the U.S. response and if it could impact the withdrawal process as American troops are continuing to leave the region.
The Taliban is gaining more control in Afghanistan as U.S. efforts to withdraw from the region continue, causing military officials to re-examine the pace that they're leaving the Middle East.
That schedule could fluctuate and change as conditions change too.
President Biden originally setting a final withdrawal date of September 11th. And the Pentagon says the defense secretary is monitoring the pullout closely.
Every day, the situation in Afghanistan changes as the Taliban continue to conduct these attacks.
So far, since the U.S. began withdrawing a few months ago, the Taliban has begun stepping up efforts to retake more than 36 Afghan districts, inflicting casualties on the local Afghan fighters trying to push them back, as families caught in the middle are preparing to escape.
The situation in Kunduz is very bad. It is insecure. There are so many wounded victims in hospital. I'm going to Zakil to get my family out of there and go somewhere where it is safe.
But the Pentagon suggests Taliban resurgence won't impact the overall U.S. withdrawal, suggesting 2 things are very clear when it comes to leaving.
One, we will complete the withdrawal of all U.S. forces out of Afghanistan, with the exception of those that will be left to protect the diplomatic presence. And 2, that it will be done before early September, as per the Commander-in-Chief's orders.
And Afghanistan's former president recently said it's best if all U.S. troops leave. The Pentagon says the U.S. aims to still support the country financially once a withdrawal is complete. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
Well, still to come, you can't get rid of those pesky hiccups. Well, there's a straw for that. Get those details later in the show.
And a lot of big storms up to our north, moving through parts of Evangeline, Acadia, Jeff Davis parishes. We'll give you the latest on these and how long rain chances stick around in your forecast coming up.
And up next, we take you to New Iberia, where a new initiative is helping to beautify neighborhoods. We check in with Al Hebert after the break. Stay with us.
Okay. Check, check, check. It's up to you. Or she can just walk in. Well, she should come before we start the shot. Oh, you can bring your little girl.
No, she's not ready. We already had this discussion. She's not ready.
Okay.
Good morning.
Hey, Sasha, what's your last name?
My name is Satcha, and my last
Satcha.
name is Granger. But
Oh, there you go.
yeah,
Satcha Granger.
yes.
Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to
Welcome back. Artist Ann Darrow decided she wanted to help residents of Little Brooklyn spruce up the neighborhood.
Yes, love this. Al Abear is in New Iberia this morning to tell us all about it. Good morning, Al. How's it going out there?
Hey, good morning, Carter. Good morning, Alex. We are talking about this great idea that Ann had to spruce up the neighborhood. I'm with Satya Granger and Madeline Higginbotham, who is the architect who came up with this drawing. So, John, if you get a tight shot of that, tell it. This building's going to be gone, right?
Yes, this building's going to be knocked down, and we're going to level the site. And this is what our committee decided on for the design. So it'll include an entrance with a picnic shelter and a bus stop for the children to wait. There's also a history of music on the site. So we have a stage for the community to have gatherings and events. We also have a lot of educational games for the kids to play, a lot of art. It should just be really great. We have Kate Ferry did some decorative crosswalks for the kids to safely cross the street. It's just been a really great design. I think that the community will really enjoy it.
I think so, too. And this kind of design, what does it do for a neighborhood?
Oh, man, I think it could do wonders for a neighborhood. I mean, it really just gives a chance for the community to gather and strengthen, like, the friendships and the bonds that a community has. And I think community is everything, you know? So I think that it just gives them a place to enjoy and take pride in and to, have fun with each other, I guess.
I totally agree. And look, it brings people back. Look, Satya, you've been living in California. You want to come back to New Iberia. Tell us about that.
I do. Currently, I live in Los Angeles, and I've been out there since 2004. And so I grew up here in New Iberia. I grew up actually on the corner at that house. And my parents are both on the committee for the beautification project, working along with Miss Ann. And they told me about everything that was going on with the neighborhood. And I thought it was a great idea to come and try to purchase something home, since this is where I'm from and this is where I grew up.
I love that.
Thank you.
And so you're coming back to a brand new neighborhood, huh?
I am. And everything looks really, really awesome. They've been doing such a great job and working hard. I heard about it last year when I was visiting. And so I spoke more with my parents and Miss Ann about what was going on.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to purchase a home right here on Henry.
I love it. And this is what happens when people work together. Big things happen, big changes happen. Hey, we're going to go back to you guys in the studio where big things are happening in there this morning.
Big things indeed, Al. We'll be checking back with you in our next hour. Well, we could see another wet day around Acadiana. Storm Track 15 meteorologist Adam Olivier is tracking rain chances next. It's 7:43 on your Tuesday morning.
Yeah. No, not this time. It's not supposed to be in there.
Always tracking, always alerting. Here's your Storm Track 15 weather.
Welcome back to News 15 today. It looks to be another rainy day around Acadiana, and we actually have some developing weather news as well.
We do indeed. We're going to send it over to Storm Track 15 meteorologist Adam Olivier. Adam, what do you have?
Yeah, Alex and Carter, we now have a flash flood warning that's in place for parts of the area as that heavy rain continues to move down towards the south and east. This is for parts of Evangeline, Allen, Acadia, back over towards Jeff Davis, and parts of St. Landry. This does include Eunice as well, as this heavy storm just slowly moves down to the south and east. There really isn't a whole lot of movement with it, but we are going to see more of these showers and storms just kind of sitting over the same region. And you can see that green blinking box here. That is that flash flood warning. That goes until 9:30 this morning for some pretty impressive rainfall totals that are coming out of this storm. So this is going to be something that we follow here. We haven't gotten any reports of flooding yet, but I mean, obviously, this is the same area that got a lot of rain yesterday. We actually had a flash flood warning basically for the same region. So it's not going to take a whole lot to get this flooding concern to really build on up here. So as it sinks down to the south, we're talking about Frey and Rourke by 7:54, Bates by 7:57, Keystone by 7:58, Mawada by 7:58 as well. And then even Iota, you know, this is going to be sinking your way probably in the next 5 to 10 minutes as it builds to the south. Now, we also have some heavier rain pushing into Opelousas and Leonville. This is just kind of perked up within the past 10 minutes or so. And so that's leading to, again, more heavy rain potential here. We'll watch this to see. This isn't moving that much. It could also cause some more flooding concerns, and there are those big storms building into Evangeline Parish. There's more down into Cameron. These really are just kind of sitting out here. No real movement with them, so we'll keep an eye on that. And then a few spotty showers across the area down closer to the coast. We're talking near Intracoastal City, well, to your east, in fact, and then also to the north of Sycamore Point, building into Iberia Parish, where we're seeing some of that rain as well. Another shower that is just to the south and west of Franklin, right along the immediate coast there by West Cope Blanche Bay. I-10 at Ambassador, we are seeing gray skies here in Lafayette. We're going to keep an eye on this camera because the storms will be approaching from the left here and then eventually making their way across the screen. 76 degrees with sun and clouds mixing, a dew point of 75, and there's no wind movement, so the air is filled with moisture. We're going to see that moisture kind of hanging around and allowing these slow-moving storms to stay with us. This is at 9 o'clock, and our Futurecast has multiple areas of these hit-and-miss showers, some very heavy rain moving through. By 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, things should settle down for a brief time, but we're going to start to see those storms popping back up here as we get later on into the morning. This is now at 3 p.m. There are those pop-up showers and storms building near Breaux Bridge. More of those sinking down to the south by 5 o'clock, and then things starting to settle down the closer we get to sunset. Our temperatures out there this afternoon, well, at first they're going to be rain cool, but we should see enough sunlight during the afternoon hours to get us into the mid and upper 80s with more showers and storms. Again, that flood potential will remain with any storms that build up. That could cause some issues out there. Mid 70s as we head into the overnight hours. Mainly just some clouds, not expecting much rain overnight. 89 tomorrow, hit and miss storms and a bit hotter with those temperatures as we lose some of the thunderstorm chances. Scattered on Wednesday, becoming spotty and few by Thursday and Friday, lower 90s there. So we'll keep you up to date on that flash flood warning. Again, it's for much of our inland parishes, Acadia, Jeff Davis, Evangeline, St. Landry until 9:30 this morning. We'll keep you up to date if we get more information about flooded roads and things like that as we get that.
Okay, good deal, Adam. Of course, we'll continue to keep checking in with you throughout the morning.
Well, up next, is there anything more romantic than having a partner by your side? How about all the time? One couple took that phrase attached to the hip to the extreme. Details after the break. Welcome back. A chicken wing shortage prompts one chain to launch a new virtual brand. Wingstop says try the thigh instead. The chain is launching Thigh Stop, and Wingstop will serve as the brand's ghost kitchen. Chicken fans can now enjoy thighs served plain or sauced and tossed in Wingstop's 11 distinctive flavors. In addition to bone-in thighs, Thigh Stop is also introducing breaded boneless thighs, a dark meat take on Wingstop's popular boneless wings.
Well, DoorDash and Albertsons, one of the nation's largest grocers that include Safeway, have partnered on same-day grocery delivery. The national partnership will give DoorDash users access to 40,000 grocery items and have them delivered within the hour. And to celebrate, DoorDash is launching its first ever digital gaming experience called In the Bag. It gives users the chance to play and score savings on future grocery orders.
People in Napa Valley are returning to the Fruit of the Vine, and events that let them do wine tasting are seeing the fruit of their labors. Tickets for tasting events are selling again at $500 to $1,000 or more. And vintners, I think that's the word, they say they're surprised at the high demand for the expensive offerings. Some attending are billed in the tens of thousands, and they're paying for tasting and touring of the wine country's vineyards. The likely thirst for wine is caused by loosening of the coronavirus pandemic stronghold.
Well, everyone has their own trick believed to stop pesky hiccups, but one company says they have the cure. A group of scientists claim your hiccup relief lies in the forced inspiratory suction and swallow tool. The device, sold by the company Hickaway, works like a straw, requiring the hiccupper to place it in a cup of water and simply suck. Customers claim the device cured their hiccups in about 2 big sips. This so-called miracle hiccup reliever can be purchased for about $15 on Amazon.
You can keep one of those on the news desk.
No, really, though. I need that.
Well, Las Vegas Raiders defensive end Carl Nassib became the first active NFL player to come out as gay.
Nassib made the announcement in a video posted to his Instagram account before stating that he'll donate $100,000 to the Trevor Project. It's a nonprofit that helps prevent LGBT youth suicide.
Nassib is the first player to make the announcement public while on an NFL team. In 2014, Michael Sam declared he was gay before the draft, but did not make an NFL roster.
To date, no openly gay person has played in the NFL's regular season. The commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell, and the Raiders shared statements in support of Nassib. Well, get this, a couple in Ukraine who got handcuffed to each other in an effort to save the relationship have unfortunately gone their separate ways.
For 123 days, they were joined at the wrist, but not anymore. Alexander and Victoria decided to handcuff themselves together on Valentine's Day.
It was a last-ditch attempt to break the cycle of making up and breaking up. They did everything together, fixing food, getting dressed, checking social media, prepping for the day in front of the mirror.
And I'm sure other things. In the end, he said they were not on the same wavelength. She said, despite the handcuffs, he did not give her enough attention. I don't know how. The couple agreed on one thing. The experiment had brought home some uncomfortable truths.
I bet. They cut the chains last week in front of TV cameras.
Freedom at last.
Freedom at last.
Oh boy. Well, get this. Jeff Bezos is heading to space next month, and some people would like him to stay there.
Oh boy. Several online petitions have popped up urging the Amazon CEO not to return to Earth. One on change.org has more than 75,000 signatures. It says, quote, billionaires should not exist on Earth or in space, but should they decide the latter, they should stay there, end quote.
Obviously, Bezos is planning to return to Earth. He will only be in space for 11 minutes on July 20th as part of the first crewed flight aboard his Blue Origin rocket, New Shepard. I don't know what it means that the richest man on Earth wants to leave the planet Earth.
I know, right?
That doesn't bode well for us.
All righty, well, stay with us. We have more news and weather coming up right after this break.
And we're continuing to track that flash flood warning for parts of the area. Again, this is for Evangeline, Acadia, St. Landry, Jeff Davis, and Allen parishes, as over 4 inches of rain looks to have fallen within the past 3 hours in this region. So that's going to cause quite a bit of flooding concerns here. This storm sinking down to the south. We'll continue to track it for you coming up in our next hour.
Okay, Adam, thank you for that. Again, like you said, we'll continue to check in. But our coverage continues in our next hour and anytime on our website, kadn.com.
We've got more local headlines, updates on our Crime Watch, and everything you need to know happening this morning around Acadiana and the state. Stay with us after this quick break.
The trial in the murder of a Lafayette boxer moves into day 2 as both sides' legal counsel works to select the acting jury.